Hi beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. My name is Favor and I'm a lifestyle content creator living in Manitoba, Canada. If this is your first time here, you're very much welcome. Please do want to click the subscribe button so you can join our family. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming here when I post new videos. So guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about things I don't like about Canada. I'm not going to use the word hate because I feel hate is such a strong word, so I'm just going to go with things I don't like. Anyways, if you want to know what I have to say, definitely keep on watching. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is transportation and communication. You guys, transportation and communication in Canada is so expensive. I do not understand why, and I have refused to understand why, because it is just so expensive. I mean, when you think about the fact that Canada has a very large landmass, it kind of makes sense because I don't think they have the population to, would I say, occupy the land. So yeah, maybe if they had more people, they would have more people paying taxes, and you know, maybe transportation and communication would have been subsidized, but hello, that's not the reality. So yes, transportation is so expensive. Like sometimes, you know, traveling within Canada is even more expensive compared to traveling like internationally, and I'm just like, why? Like I don't have to be inside this Canada. If I'm going to spend that much money, you know, traveling within Canada, maybe I should just, you know, go on a vacation. What do you guys think? Well, yeah, it is so expensive, and yeah, it's just expensive. I don't know, there's no other explanation. It is expensive. Okay, it's so weird how you're so close to people yet so far away. Like I live in Manitoba and I have a lot of friends in Ontario, right? And then when you look at the map, it's like Ontario is right beside Manitoba, but then again it's like, okay, if I say that I want to drive to Ontario, I'm talking about, you know, 13 to 20 something hours depending on where I'm going. Okay, like, you know, if I'm going to somewhere that's like a neighboring place, it may not be that bad, but depending on where I'm going, I'm talking, you know, lots of hours, and I'm just like, why? Why do this to me? And then if I not say that, let me come and fly. You guys, let's not go there. But yeah, it's just so expensive. And you know, it's the same thing with communication. Like, you know, people pay so much money on like internet bills, you know, phone bills and phone plans. Like it's just outrageous. But yes, there's nothing to explain. It is expensive. So if you feel like you want to move to Canada, just brace yourself for all of that. Okay, if you have family members in a province, you might not see them that often because it is expensive to travel within Canada. Okay, anyways, on to the next point. The next thing I'll be talking about is the cost of living. For me, cost of living is a whole blanket, and I feel there are so many, you know, subcategories under cost of living, but in general, cost of living in Canada is high. I like the fact that there's a minimum wage system in place. At least that way people are getting paid, and it would be nice for, you know, some countries to, would I say, implement that and actually, you know, stick to it. But I also feel like the minimum wage is low. Okay, like I just feel like it can be better. Okay, because like cost of living keeps increasing every year. Like we're still talking about inflation and all of that, and I don't feel like people's, you know, salaries are increasing. Like, yeah, I don't feel that way. I've had situations where I'm talking to, you know, someone, and you know, we're talking about how much people earn here in Canada, and the next thing is they're doing the exchange rate, and then they're like, oh, you know, you're earning so much, or people are earning so much, and I'm just like, you know, that's what it looks like on paper, right? But in reality, I don't think it's too much, because you know, when it comes to how much you actually spend to survive here in Canada, I feel like it is not enough, and I feel like, you know, it could be better. Okay, again, better is always possible, and of course, when you know, convert a country's currency to another, one country would always, you know, be at a better advantage. You know, I mean, we're talking about Canadian dollar, right? Because we're talking about Canada. The Canadian dollar is not as high as the US dollar. So like if you bring the Canadian dollar and the US dollar has more weight or more value. As that when I'm making the video, right, that's the reality of things. So there would always be a country's currency that would, you know, be at a better advantage over another. Okay, like, you know, regardless, it's always going to be that way. Accommodation cost, for example, is always so high. So yes, you're earning so much money, but your rent is taking the bulk of it. Like depending on how much you earn, you know, your rent could take as much as half or even more than half of your salary. And I just feel like, you know, like that's just extreme. Okay, like we haven't even got into, you know, deductions, you know, like your taxes and every other thing. Like cost of living is just high. It's very expensive, you know. It differs based on, you know, where you work and like the province you live in, but you know, there are so many things that are, you know, calling your money. So as you get paid, you know, like a third or a fourth of your salary is already being deducted. And then if you're lucky to live in a province like Manitoba, there's an additional 12%, you know, you get taxed per purchase. I'm going to try to break that down as much as I can. So like the province has PST and GST charges. So if you go to a store, you know, and you're trying to buy food, or you're trying to buy like clothing, shoes, like, you know, just anything you can think of, you know, for the most part, you know, we get charged. Okay, so let's say you go to a store and you see an item that's $20, right? You're not going to be paying $20. Okay, you're going to be paying $20 plus the 12% of that $20. Okay, so that's how much you're going to be spending. So imagine doing that, you know, every time you go shopping, or every time you spend money. I mean, the best way not to incur that kind of extra expense is by not shopping. But I mean, you have to survive, you have to buy food, you have to buy, you know, clothing and all of that. So yes, there's an additional tax for people that live in Manitoba. The additional taxes differ per province. Okay, and this is something you need to pay attention to if you want to move to Canada. Okay, so yes, do your research and, you know, factor in the cost of living of whatever province you decide to move to. And of course, if you earn just minimum wage, it makes sense to make wise financial decisions, right? So yes, I feel like that is one good thing about living in Canada. However, I feel it doesn't give you a lot of room for extras. So yes, with, you know, minimum wage, or depending on how much you earn, you know, you're able to get by, you're able to do the basics, provide the basics that you need to survive. Okay, but I don't feel like it allows you do more, would I say, investments or exploring. Like, I just feel like it doesn't give you more room to do whatever, you know, extra thing you want to do. Like, so yes, you'll be able to pay for the basics, you'll be able to survive, but I just don't feel it gives you a lot of room for extra. Okay, yeah, that's just my opinion. And this will lead me to my next point, which is the whole credit system here. I feel like it's good in the sense that you have access to loans, you know, and you can do things that you ordinarily wouldn't have had access to. So yes, from that perspective, it is good, and, you know, it's nice. But I just feel like it doesn't really motivate people to do better. You know, some people just get so comfortable with borrowing, and I mean, it's good, but, you know, when you keep borrowing and borrowing, you know, sometimes you just get sucked up and then you end up having so much debt. So yeah, you know, some people just keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing because they have access to it, right? And then they end up with so much debt at the end of the day. And I just feel like, you know, from that perspective, it's just, you know, just somehow, okay? So yes, it's good that people can access loans when they need to, but just designing the whole system in a way that you have to depend on credit to be able to do certain things is just, you know, off for me. But yes, that is something that I do not like about Canada. The next thing I'll be talking about is, you know, vacation destinations. I don't feel Canada has a lot of really nice vacation destinations, or would I say lots of tourist attractions. I mean, there are tourist attractions, but I don't feel like, you know, it's really open to the world. First of all, Canada is very far. So depending on where you're coming from, I don't think a lot of people are going to be traveling from so far just to come to Canada. Like, the journey is already long, and I don't feel they have a lot to attract people. And I also feel the weather plays a very big role in this, which will be my last point for this video. The weather here in Canada is, you know, extreme most times. Okay, like, I feel it's either too hot or too cold. Like, I don't feel Canada's weather is usually in between. And I mean, depending on the province that you stay in, you might not have you know, extreme temperatures, but you would have something. The weather in British Columbia is not very cold, but they have a lot of rain, whereas some provinces don't have as much rain, but they have, you know, very extreme, you know, cold days. Okay, so it's just, I don't know, I feel like I get to experience it differently, but it's not like, but I don't feel like one person gets it all. Okay, I feel like one person has something and another person has something. So I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, we all experience something that is not really fun. But yeah, back to vacation destinations. I feel like the weather doesn't allow people really explore here. Like, it doesn't motivate people to want to try out, you know, a lot of things, or doesn't make people want to invest in, you know, would I say, vacation destination, because the weather is not really friendly. So yeah, I feel like that's just one downside of it. We have extremely long winters and very short summers. So like, if you have just like 3 to 4, you know, summer months, do you really want to spend so much money investing in something that will be shut down, you know, for the rest of the year? Like, I feel like that's just something that could be a disadvantage living in Canada. But people are able to enjoy themselves. People have been living here, you know, for years, and they're still surviving. Okay, so, you know, if you decide to move to Canada, you'll be fine. Okay, you survive. Just dress appropriately for the weather and you'll be good. Okay, anyways guys, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching up until this point. If you live in Canada, or if you have lived in Canada, I would love to know if there are things you don't like about Canada. Yeah, so please share them in the comment section with me, and I'll see you in my next video. But until then, stay safe and stay blessed. Bye.